Welcome to my channel Value Old Coins. Today videos is one you won't miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The 2001 Canada 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the Canadian nickel, stands as a modest yet meaningful piece of Canada's monetary and cultural landscape, bearing the official effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, along with the Latin inscription DG Regina, which is an abbreviation for Dei Gratia Regina, meaning by the grace of God, Queen. This coin exemplifies Canada's enduring ties to the British monarchy while simultaneously celebrating its national heritage. This duality of allegiance and independent identity is a recurring theme in Canadian numismatics, and the 2001 nickel encapsulates this through its carefully selected motifs and inscriptions. On the obverse side of the coin is the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as designed by Canadian artist Dora de Pedery Hunt. First introduced on Canadian coinage in 1990, this portrait replaced the earlier youthful effigy by Arnold Machen. Pedery Hunt's design presents a more mature and stately likeness of the Queen, reflecting her appearance in the later stages of the 20th century. In this portrait, Her Majesty faces right, wearing the King George IV state diadem, a regal crown adorned with diamonds and historically worn by British queens for important state occasions. The diadem, featuring roses, shamrocks, and thistles, symbols of England, Ireland, and Scotland, is a delicate reference to the shared history between Canada and the United Kingdom. Surrounding the effigy is the legend Elizabeth to DG Regina, following a long-standing tradition in Commonwealth coinage to honor the sovereign's divine right to rule. This inscription is not merely ornamental but also an acknowledgement of Canada's constitutional monarchy, an institution that remains a vital aspect of Canadian identity and governance. Beneath the Queen's neckline is the designer's initial P, a discreet yet respectful credit to Dora de Pedery Hunt's contribution to Canadian numismatic art. On the reverse side, the 2001 nickel proudly displays one of Canada's most iconic coin designs, the beaver atop a log pile by a riverside, a timeless symbol of Canadian industriousness, resilience, and connection to the natural environment. This design, originally introduced in 1937 by George Edward Kruger Gray, a distinguished British coin designer, has graced Canada's 5-cent coinage for decades and remains one of the longest-running coin designs in Canadian history. In this tranquil yet evocative scene, the beaver is portrayed in a moment of repose or quiet labor, gnawing away at a log, a fitting tribute to the animal's role in Canada's early economic development during the fur trade era. Positioned above the beaver's image is the denomination 5 cents, while the country name Canada and the year of issue 2001 appear below the design. One can also observe the tiny initials KG discreetly placed near the base of the image, representing George Kruger Gray, thereby preserving the legacy of the original designer. The reverse imagery of the beaver is more than a mere depiction of wildlife. It serves as a reflection of Canada's historical reliance on its natural resources and the fur trade industry, which was a cornerstone of the nation's early colonial economy and a driving force behind European exploration and settlement. In terms of physical specifications, the 2001 Canadian 5-cent coin weighs 3.95 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 1.76 millimeters. Its edge is plain, smooth, and undecorated, a practical feature that contributes to the coin's recognizability by touch. Notably, during this period, the Royal Canadian Mint was in the midst of transitioning from pure nickel coins to more cost-effective multiply-plated steel coins. However, the 2001 nickel was still predominantly minted in pure nickel, a metal renowned for its durability, corrosion resistance, and distinctive silvery appearance. The Royal Canadian Mint, responsible for producing this coin, has long been a leader in numismatic craftsmanship and innovation. Established in 1908, the Mint has played a pivotal role in shaping Canada's monetary system and national symbols through its coinage. By 2001, the Mint had incorporated state-of-the-art technologies, including multiply plating processes and high-speed coining presses, ensuring the consistent quality and precision of its circulating coins. From a historical perspective, the 2001 5-cent coin sits within a period of relative stability and continuity in Canadian coin design. The Queen's effigy by Dora de Pedery Hunt had been in use since 1990 and would soon be replaced in 2003 by a new portrait by Susanna Blunt, depicting a more contemporary, uncrowned image of Elizabeth II. Therefore, the 2001 nickel represents one of the final years of the Pedery Hunt effigy's circulation. It serves as a tangible link to the late 20th century era of Canadian coinage, during which tradition and modernity coexisted. In terms of mintage and availability, the 2001 5-cent coin was produced in large quantities for everyday circulation. Millions were struck at the Royal Canadian Mint's facilities in Ottawa and Winnipeg, with no distinct mint marks differentiating coins from each location. While standard circulation strikes are relatively common and still occasionally found in pocket change today, proof-like specimen, and proof versions were also produced for collectors. These higher-grade examples often feature enhanced finishes, such as frosted designs against mirrored fields, and are prized by numismatics for their beauty and craftsmanship. The cultural significance of the beaver on Canadian coinage extends beyond mere aesthetics. The animal was central to the fur trade economy that shaped the foundations of what would become Canada. European traders, particularly those from France and Britain, valued beaver pelts for their use in making fashionable felt hats. The demand for these pelts fueled exploration, settlement, and the establishment of trade networks, fundamentally altering the social and economic landscape of North America. Recognizing the beaver's pivotal role, it was formally designated a national symbol of Canada in 1975, though it had appeared on Canadian coins long before this official designation. Moreover, the Latin inscription, DG Regina, represents a vestige of Canada's colonial past and its continuing constitutional monarchy. While modern Canada is a sovereign nation with its own parliament and prime minister, the presence of the monarch's effigy on currency reinforces the ceremonial and symbolic role of the crown in Canadian governance. This dual identity, as both an independent nation and a member of the Commonwealth, is uniquely captured in the design of Canadian coins such as the 2001 nickel dot. In the world of numismatics, the 2001 Canadian 5-cent coin holds modest but genuine interest. While not rare, its status as one of the later issues bearing the Dora de Pettery Hunt effigy makes it a desirable piece for collectors assembling typesets or tracking the evolution of the Queen's portrait on Canadian coinage. Additionally, varieties exhibiting die errors, doubling, or unusual strike characteristics can command premiums among specialized collectors. In conclusion, the 2001 Canada 5-cent coin bearing the inscription Elisabeth II here is a small but meaningful artifact within Canada's broader numismatic tradition. Its enduring beaver motif pays tribute to the country's natural resources, industrious spirit, and colonial history, while its obverse reflects Canada's ongoing relationship with the British monarchy through its carefully considered design, durable composition, and historical context. This unassuming coin serves as a tangible link to Canada's past and present, offering a miniature canvas upon which the nation's values, identity, and history are artfully engraved. Whether used in commerce, collected for its historical value, or admired for its symbolism, the 2001 nickel remains an enduring emblem of Canadian pride and heritage. The Canada 5-cent coin of 2003, popularly known as the Canadian nickel, is a small yet historically rich piece of Canadian numismatics that holds both cultural significance and monetary utility within Canada's long-standing coinage system. This particular coin, minted in the year 2003, was struck under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose name appears prominently on the obverse side of the coin, accompanied by the Latin inscription DG Regina, an abbreviation for De Gratia Regina, meaning by the grace of God, Queen. This phrasing has been a long-standing tradition in Commonwealth coinage, paying homage to the monarch's divine right to rule, a custom dating back centuries in European history. The obverse design of this coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, as rendered by Canadian artist Dora de Pettery Hunt, introduced in 1990 and used on Canadian coinage until 2003 for certain denominations. This portrait marked a more mature representation of the Queen compared to her earlier likenesses. In this depiction, Her Majesty is shown facing right, adorned with the King George IV's state diadem, an intricate and symbolic piece of regalia, traditionally worn during formal state occasions such as the state opening of Parliament in Britain. This diadem, encrusted with diamonds and historically significant jewels, adds regal splendor to the design, reinforcing the authority and dignity of the Canadian monarchy. Surrounding the portrait are the words Elisabeth II de forming a circular legend around the Queen's effigy. Below her bust is the artist's initials P4, Dora de Pettery Hunt, subtly integrated into the design. Turning to the reverse side of the coin, it showcases one of Canada's most enduring and beloved numismatic icons, the beaver, a national symbol synonymous with Canadian industriousness, resilience, and natural heritage. The beaver has been featured on the 5-cent coin since 1937, when the classic design by George Edward Kruger Gray, a British artist known for his heraldic coin designs, was first introduced. In this composition, a beaver is depicted sitting atop a mound of logs on the edge of a river, busy gnawing away or pausing at work. Behind the animal, water ripples suggest a serene yet productive scene, emblematic of Canada's vast wilderness and the importance of natural resources in the country's history. Encircling the scene are the inscriptions 5 cents, indicating the coin's denomination, and Canada denoting the country of issue. The year of minting, 2003, appears just below the beaver's image. An important feature present on the reverse is the small KG initials placed discreetly near the base of the design, which stand for George Kruger Gray, immortalizing his contribution to Canadian numismatic art. his beaver design has become a symbol not only of the Canadian nickel but also of Canada itself, appearing in educational materials, souvenirs, and pop culture references associated with Canadian identity. From a physical perspective, the 2003 Canada 5-cent coin was produced in two primary compositions, as the Royal Canadian Mint was transitioning from nickel-based coins to plated steel coins around this time for reasons of cost-effectiveness and resource management. As a result, two varieties of the 2003 nickel exist, one struck in pure nickel and another composed of multiply-plated steel. The pure nickel version maintains Canada's traditional preference for durable, corrosion-resistant coinage, while the plated steel variety represents a modernization effort designed to reduce production costs and coin weight. The coin weighs 3.95 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a thickness of approximately 1.76 millimeters. It features a smooth, plain edge, a typical attribute for Canadian nickels. These measurements have remained largely consistent over the decades, preserving the coin's recognizability and functionality in everyday transactions. Notably, the 5-cent coin is one of the few remaining denominations worldwide that continue to use a beaver as a central design motif, reflecting Canada's dedication to honoring its ecological and economic heritage through currency. Another significant aspect of the 2003 Canadian nickel is its place within the historical timeline of Queen Elizabeth II's effigies on Canadian coinage. In 2003, two obverse designs were used for different denominations due to a mid-year transition. While this particular coin features the Dora de Pettery Hunt effigy, later in the same year, a new portrait by Susanna Blunt was introduced, showing the Queen without a crown, an image considered more modern and reflective of her contemporary role. The simultaneous use of both obverses in 2003 makes coins from this year especially interesting to collectors and numismatists, as it marks a rare overlap in portrait usage. The 20035 CENT piece was struck at the Royal Canadian Mint's facilities in Winnipeg and Ottawa, utilizing advanced minting technology that ensured high-quality strikes and consistency across large production runs. No special mint marks were typically placed on circulation strikes, although proof and specimen versions struck for collectors might carry distinguishing features or enhanced finishes, such as mirrored fields and frosted designs. In terms of mintage figures, the Royal Canadian Mint produced millions of 5-cent coins in 2003 for general circulation, reflective of the coin's ongoing demand in commercial transactions, despite the increasing prevalence of electronic payments. While exact mintage numbers can vary by variety and composition, the overall quantity ensures that most 2003 nickels remain readily available in pocket change and coin collections today. However, specific varieties, such as those struck in pure nickel versus plated steel, can command different levels of interest among collectors, especially in uncirculated, proof-like, or high-grade conditions. Beyond its functional and numismatic value, the 2003 Canada 5-cent coin carries deeper cultural and symbolic meaning. The beaver has been associated with Canadian identity since the early fur trade days of the 17th and 18th centuries, when beaver pelts were a prized commodity in European markets. The animal's industrious nature and role in shaping Canada's early economy earned it a place on the nation's currency, coat of arms, and folklore. Meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth II's effigy symbolizes Canada's constitutional monarchy, linking the country to its Commonwealth roots while reinforcing the dignity and continuity of the Crown in Canadian society. In the realm of coin collecting, the 2003 Canadian nickel holds modest but genuine appeal. Its dual obverse ear, transition in metallic composition, and enduring design elements make it a worthwhile addition to both casual and serious collections. Collectors often seek examples in mint state, proof-like, or specimen condition, with particular interest in varieties exhibiting die errors, misstrikes, or unique characteristics that add rarity and narrative value to the piece. In conclusion, the 2003 Canada 5-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II with the inscription, DG Regina, is more than just a unit of currency. It is a testament to Canada's rich numismatic heritage, national symbolism, and constitutional traditions. Through its carefully crafted design, metallurgical evolution, and connection to both nature and monarchy, this unassuming coin captures the essence of Canada's past and present, offering a tangible link to the country's history for those who hold it in their hands. Whether used in everyday commerce or preserved within a collection, the 2003 nickel stands as a small but meaningful emblem of Canadian identity, craftsmanship, and pride.